Hello everyone, Pineapple and Apple here with the next round of Dark Gallifrey, this time focusing on Missy. The first Dark Gallifrey set was quite good, focusing on Morbius, with little returning characters apart from the titular, and then we got the War Master and I had a few problems with it, but overall it was pretty entertaining. And now we have Missy, a character who Big Finish has done great things with, but in recent times, in many opinions, has kind of stagnated with the character. Her last box set, Missy Bad Influence, seeming to be very mid-critically. And unfortunately, while I liked Bad Influence, it wasn't anything amazing, and neither was this. Quite honestly, it just felt like the start of Missy 5, not Dark Gallifrey. But hey, there are some good and interesting things in here, and since Big Finish are reluctant to release any details of Missy 3 as of Part 1's release, I'm hoping they have something good hidden in their hand. Of course, in the story we have Missy herself, and the performance from Michelle Gomez, as well as the dialogue, was really fun. As good as ever. I'm convinced even when the story is average, Michelle Gomez can't give a bad performance. She probably should have been in it more, but I like the fact we focused more on the side characters. Those side characters could have just had more interesting things to do. Missy herself is quite literally just off the back of the Series 9 opening two-parter, and is now trapped.
You're trapped!
So she uses the resources she has on hand, including the people around her, to the best of her ability, which is interesting and allows her to be cruel but also be heroic in moments, even if she's obviously never good. The story itself starts with a heist angle, but seems to be going in a more of a Civil War direction for Part 2. The story opens with Sly Boots, played by Jonathan Case, credited as Mortimer. And since audio Missy stories have a weird obsession with pairing her with the monk, I'm not going to be surprised if they make him a young monk or an alternate timeline monk kind of thing. Maybe the monk bi-generated. Oh, Jesus. Anyway, Sly Boots is a fun character. His blind optimism is a little bland, but some of his commentary, like speaking as if there's an audience.
And the lobster-faced thing beside her is her advisor, Lord Voltaire. We just need his briefcase.
Sly Boots? Who are you talking to?
Oh, them.
Oh, to keep it together tonight of all nights.
But they're listening.
No, they're not real, lad.
And having banger quotes where he talks about good things happening by having hope and entertaining the audience. It's fun and he's endearing, even if a little one-note at times. He is assisted in his thievery by his mentor Scratch, played by Bruce Alexander, who has a nice little arc and moments, but on the whole also is just sort of bland, having very similar reactions to everything that happens near Missy. Only near the end does he really become an interesting figure, forced by Missy into the figurehead of a rebellion against the Queen of Opus Thule, only to seemingly die as the Queen opens bombardment on the people, calling for her deposement. That's one way to stay in power. Of course, there is the Queen herself, played by Paxi Vernon, and her advisor Voltaire, played by Amajid Du. And neither of them are particularly interesting dramatically. I only found myself caring what the Queen would do in the last third of the story, and her advisor is more for exposition and comedy than anything else. So while I want to see what happens to these characters and where the story takes them, unlike the new cast in Morbius, I didn't find myself endeared to any of these characters beyond the surface level. I'm writing this 3 days after listening, and I couldn't tell you a thing about the last member of the credited cast, John Edgley Bond, playing the leader of the Queen's steampunk robot enforcers. So Sly Boots and Scratch are on the run after thieving from the Queen, and they run into Missy, now trapped as any tech, including her vortex manipulator, stops working soon after landing. A lot of time travelers having been spat out here, including some Time Lords over the years, as Voltaire will infer. So she has to make the best of her situation once she learns that what they stole were papers and passes connecting to the Queen's train where the royal jewels happen to be stored. A funny idea I haven't mentioned till now is seeded through the story that the Doctor had once appeared on Opus Thule, and after saving the people, has been the only traveller to ever escape the planet. So not only does Missy have to deal with the people calling him a hero, and a funny play about him at the beginning of the story, but for now, as I'm sure she'll escape eventually, she has to face the fact that the Doctor is already one up on her, and that detail rubbed in her face a bit. They make their way onto the train in different ways, showcasing some decent action, as Missy critiques the fact that a lot of so-called tech on Opus Thule breaks the laws of physics. Within the treasure they try to steal is a MacGuffin called life crystals, and they inspire Missy to take over the world, so she runs to the Queen and dobs in the robbers to ingratiate herself and maybe get a second scheme off the ground. Slyboots and Scratch have a nice moment as they're about to be executed.
I'm sorry, lad.
We were supposed to get away with it. We were going to be rich.
I did my best, and I still let you down.
And you were supposed to get home. To your family, to your daughter. Otherwise, what's it all been for?
For? What's any life for? We lived it. We made our choices. Now we face the consequences. That's all anyone gets.
And just as they're about to die, Missy comes in and takes a little bit, but eventually saves them from execution, using the crown to get rid of the steampunk guards. As said, she uses Scratch to instigate a revolution, and the Queen measures the only sane response, blowing her people the fuck up. Slyboots and Missy manage to survive after criticising his fourth wall breaking beliefs, and Missy ruins the crown to fix the vortex manipulator, and she reluctantly takes him with her.
Slyboots, what can I say? Goodbye, I suppose.
What? But you can't leave me here.
Why not?
Because we're friends.
Friends? Are we?
Yes.
But I betrayed you.
So? You were trying to overthrow the Queen.
They try to escape, but some deep-voiced force keeps them there. The duo ending up in a cargo hold on one of the Queen's battleships, and the episode gets a great cliffhanger as they find the TARDIS sitting in the hold. So, decent characters, a good Missy performance, and a really intriguing cliffhanger start this Dark Gallifrey line off to a middling start, as the story shifted from an Ocean's film to political intrigue not very well. Even if the drastic action taken by the Queen was planted well beforehand, this just doesn't seem like Dark Gallifrey, even if trying to be more Morbius than it is the War Master, with what seems like it will be a fluid 3-part story with no drastic jumps in between. But while I'm still excited for the next 2 parts, this one kinda came and went with little impact, my brain only retaining bullet points and little to no striking moments. Dark Gallifrey doesn't have to be bonkers timey-wimey jargon like the War Master, but I was hoping for a solid story that satisfyingly unravels while pulling you in, just like Morbius. But hey, I'll still be continuing and hoping it gets better, but for now, I'm gonna have to give Dark Gallifrey Missy Part 1 an above average 6 out of 10, but seriously bordering on a 5.5. Thank you everybody for watching my review of Dark Gallifrey Missy Part 1, and I wish we were off to a better start. Please like the video if you liked it, comment down below if you wish, consider subscribing to the channel, and if you do, ring the notification bell so that you're told every single time that I make an upload. Once again, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next review. Bye!
Toast. A little piece of toast. Because there's so much to choose from. There's brown bread, white bread, all sorts of wholemeal bread. It comes in funny packages with writing on the side.